President Trump has put illegal immigration front and center of his agenda, but quietly, he's also been changing legal immigration. But the truth is, coming into the United States legally has never been easy. It's a complicated and confusing process, and some would argue it's keeping away some of the world's best and brightest from reaching America's shores. We want to talk about this with one of the country's leading immigration lawyers, the man who helped Melania Trump and her parents become legal citizens. Joining us now is Michael Wilds, an immigration attorney and managing partner at Wilds and Weinberg. Welcome, Michael. All eyes are on the migrant caravan now, and the president is calling on migrants there to seek legal ways to come to the United States. But let's face the reality. Even if all these migrants, let's say, would have had a master's degree and a solid bank account back home, it wouldn't have been much easier for them to come here legally and get hired in the U.S., right?
Your point is very well taken. The legal process of coming to the United States is just as challenging as the unlawful process is. Employers and family members actually have to wait sometimes 10 or 15 years in order to bring nationals here. And it's highly political. Quite honestly, if you're from the Philippines or China or India, your quotas are going to be backed up. How fair is this to America's employers that they can put forward applications for the tools they need? You know, in the Bible, they talked about the pharaohs who took away the straw from building the bricks. Why aren't we giving the employers the kind of tools that they need? More importantly, on the legal immigration, when we don't allow foreign students to onboard into the workforce, we're shooting ourselves in the foot, because all they do is pay very expensive tuitions to institutions in America. And if we don't give them a path into the country, we then have to compete against them at a later time. Or even take the fashion model industry, where the H-1B3, the carve-out for fashion model, is not even available during the fashion week in New York. So a lot of the coutures and the lines on Fifth Avenue say, the hell with the United States, we're just going to go to Paris and Milan.
That's a really interesting point there. The United States, Michael, has put an end to its open door policy after World War I, but numbers show that every wave of immigration to the United States has boosted the economy. And the people who came here, they didn't have much besides their very strong will to work. And here is what I want to ask you. Could it be that immigration itself is not the problem, but the combination of immigration and welfare? Is it fair to say that America has gradually stopped being a pro-immigration country when it gradually started being a pro-welfare country, because the two really can't go together and flourish?
I have the privilege of being an adjunct professor. I met my wife in my dad's law school class. He was an immigration lawyer and professor. He's still practicing, thank God. Look, the pendulum swings over towards homeland security preparedness, and then over the years into the entrepreneurial spirit, because we all know that immigrants are the greatest risk takers. Jews, Irish, the Italians, they built the New York Harbor. They built in the early 1900s those storied cities that we all are fortunate to live in. It's so important that we get this right. If you look at the South Bronx, it's enjoying a renaissance. The parts of New Jersey that I live in Bergen County, are just showing glowingly the kinds of contributions that immigrants have made. And if we don't facilitate a positive attitude when it comes to immigration, it's a very dangerous thing, because that greatest tool that we have in our toolbox is immigration, because the next creator, the next inventor is not only going to become an American, but they'll employ Americans. And that wonderful tradition, that family reunification, the notion that people will love harder and work harder when they have their loved ones by their side. So we can't afford to get immigration wrong, not from a homeland security metric. I always question the propriety of actually having a wall with about 12 million people unlawfully behind it, and a porous border for our northern sphere with Canada. And I also question, again, why tuition is so expensive for foreign students, and then we don't figure out how to get the best and brightest into our system. We do have the O visa, which is a merit-based visa, and that visa is something that is robust. But there are a lot of wonderful people that are able to fund and create technology, and we have to create a hinge door for them too.
Michael Wilds, thank you for this very interesting conversation, and I assure you we will continue it at some point.